Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and a PMDG 737 tech team member. Welcome to the PMDG Boeing 737 once again. After a long time of flying 777, I think it's a good call that we also have a look at its tiny little sister once again. We've just landed in Hurghada, our FO has flown us here, lovely 42 degrees outside, so the FO can do the walk around while we are going to stay in the nice and air-conditioned cockpit today. Now, you might have noticed something already, and that's our sounds, which are slightly different from the standard PMDG sounds, since we are going to fly this one using the FTSim Plus sound package for the PMDG Boeing 737. As an added extra on top, we are doing this one on FTSim, and the air traffic controller who is going to control us for the better part of our flight actually is a real-life local airline pilot. So this promises to become quite an interesting flight to do. So let's go ahead and start our flight preparation, and then we are going to head out over to Thai Model's brand new Cairo scenery in a couple moments. So first things first, you might have noticed that I've got all the sunshades down as we're parking over here. Actually, now it's all the sunshades, and the reason for that is rather obvious. It's really hot outside. Just look at the temperature gauge over there, 42 degrees right now. That's Egypt in summer for you guys. And obviously with these temperatures we want to keep as much heat out of the cockpit as possible. And the sunshades can actually reflect quite a bit of sunshine, and that really does show. On top of that, if you're sitting right here in the sunlight, I can tell you with that light shining onto your legs over there, especially with the black or dark uniform trousers that you would be wearing, that would get really hot. So overall, you can see we are doing the best to keep the sun out. Of course the APU is running, even though the ground power is feeding the generators right now, but the APU is on the air conditioning system, doing its very best to keep it as cool as possible. As you can see, 26 degrees inside, it is struggling a little bit, so in these temperatures even the APU often can't keep the cabin below 30 degrees. So well, let's go ahead and start our pre-flight procedures now, so that we can get going as quickly as possible. So we are the Egypt Air 043 today, Hurghada to Cairo, 244 miles, so it's really a short flight that we are doing today. Now the flight plan scheduled for 1300 UTC, so we are a little bit delayed at the moment. But hey, we just want to fly as realistic as possible, do we? Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at our flight plan then. So weather-wise, you've already seen that we've got really good conditions here. At least really good visibility conditions. Rather hot though. So Hurghada, Kavok, 42 degrees. Cairo, Kavok, 36 degrees. And there are a couple of gusts in the forecast. We'll see how those are going to develop. Our primary alternate is Alexandria today, and they also have good weather with the possibility for a couple of showers of rain. Now that is unlikely, and the temperature 32 degrees down there. Alright, so as we can see, it's good weather conditions all around. I really don't expect any delays or anything that would warrant extra fuel. So if they say we should go at 5.2, we'll load up 5.3 so that we have our APU usage covered, but that is really all that we are going to need on today's flight. So the fuel truck is here already, 5,300 kilograms. Let's go ahead and start the refueling process, and then we can go ahead and start our pre-flight procedures down here as well. So starting down in the FMS, we are going to do the flight plan request here. Set the payload, the fuel is running automatically, so we can cancel that. Select the route, and with that we can start our uplink procedure. In the meantime, the oil quantities are still full. Of course they are, we just flew the plane over here. Hydraulics are looking good, and we'll do the rest of that good stuff later. So flight plan request is in progress, should be here soon. Okay, load it up. I really miss the chance to get the tablet right here, right now. That just makes things so much easier in the 777. Okay, so departure. It's going to be a runway 34 right today. At least that's kind of what I suspect we will have. So let's have a quick look at our route. We're going via Solox. Do we have any SID for that? Yeah, Solox 1 Bravo. Let's go ahead and load that up. We might have to slightly modify our route then. So Solog's going into here. And, well, we'll have to add that restriction back in. Let's do that straight away, now that we think of it. So, Hurghada, Sid, Solog's 1 Bravo, here it is. And that's Solog's above 8,000 feet. Okay, we can certainly work with that. So that's going to be 80 or above. Okay, and for the arrival, they seem to be using runway 05 in Cairo right now. So let's tune in the ILS 05 center, and then we'll see later on. We'll just choose some Cairo transition here, but I'm sure it is going to be radar vectors. Okay, load that in, then we can continue on to the performance initialization. What do we have today? So, cost index 22, which seems to be the real-life Egypt Air cost index. Okay, then, 2,600 kilogram reserve fuel, 2.6. Our zero fuel weight is planned as 56 tons today. And our cruising flight level is 300. Alright, going to load that one in. Next up, cruise winds. We can take the average 234 at 22. So that's 234/22. And the outside air temperature, well, eyesight deviation plus 18. So that's really warm for you guys. So minus 44 plus 18, that's minus 26 if I'm not mistaken. Let's load that in. You can see how immediately the trip altitude changes significantly there. But 300 should still be fine. Okay, transition altitude 9,500. Let's verify that. And that's confirmed up here. Okay, excellent. So we're going to keep that stuff. So, on the climb page, 250 below 100 is good. We'll do the descent forecast when we actually come to the descent. And then we can go down to the takeoff reference. So for noise abatement, they are asking for NADP number 2, if I'm not completely mistaken here. So we'll do acceleration at 3,000. And that's it. Okay. Apart from that, we can draw a 25-mile ring around Hurghada for MSA awareness. Like that. And looking at the chart itself, it's 7,500 in this sector over here. But if we go to the eastern sector, then it's only 2,100 over the ocean. So what we're gonna do is I will just draw that 360 radial and that 180 radial so that we got those two sectors marked on the nav display up here as well. Okay, and that's our initial FMS preparation pretty much completed down here. Well, what we could do is to add the engine out routing at the end, so let's do some random waypoint here, and then Hurghada /341 and 25 miles straight ahead. Oh yeah, too much Airbus logic here. 341/25, that's how you do it. Welcome to the Boeing. Delete this, execute, hold, over here, and that's gonna be over the water, so I'm gonna be happy at 3,000. Okay, now we got that at the back of the legs page as well. And what's that waypoint called? Might as well add it to the fix page. Hack01. Here we go. Okay, excellent. So that is our FMS preparation finished for now. Then we can go ahead with the overhead panel. And over here, everything's set. Over here as well. What's about the refueling? Finished. Then we can turn the seatbelts on. That's all looking good. That's all looking good. So, cruise altitude is going to be 30,000. And the landing elevation, let's see. That's runway minus 50 feet, so we're looking at 450. Here we go, 450. No maintenance over here. Well, let's turn the wheel well lights on, makes it quite a bit easier to see something down there. Flight director's coming on. No idea about the initial altitude, we'll probably get that on the line up. That seems to be something they do locally here in Egypt. Okay, so reset all that good stuff. Auto brake stays disarmed. Why is that? Let's try that again. And okay, looks like the auto brake stays disarmed. Well, let's see. We do have brake pressure. We do have hydraulic pressure. Okay. Well, I'll just try to release the brakes here for a second. See what's going to happen now. Okay, looks like something is wrong with the auto brake system. It fails the self-test. Normally when you put the auto brake to RTO, it's going to conduct a self-test, and after that is completed, it should only take a second or two. Then the auto brake disarm light should go out. So it looks like the auto brake self-test is failing over here. Well, in that case, it's gonna be auto brake off. Or is that... wait a moment, that could be because of the thrust lever position. They weren't in idle. Okay, try that once more. Yeah, now it works. Okay. So I accidentally had the thrust levers not in idle. That could of course very well be the explanation. Well, that is the explanation. Okay. So, let's get rid of that... let's just get rid of that VOR. Where's my approach chart? Here it is. Okay, Hurghada, 16.5. We might as well tune that. Flew the inbound flight completely on ANAV, that's why we didn't have to tune it. Of course, it would have been good practice to do it, but our FO was pilot flying, and he decided not to. Okay, so here we go. And since it's us flying now, we're going to switch over to the left side, and that's it. Well, okay, so with that out of the way, let's see if we can grab an ATIS. That's 120.45.
Temperature 42. 2.9er. Altimeter 1004. Hectopascals. Transition level 110. Advise ATC you have information. Bravo advise on initial contact. You
Okay,
have
ATIS
information.
Bravo. We can write that one down as a reminder for our clearance in a few moments.
This is Hurghada International Airport ATIS information Bravo. At time 1200 Zulu. Zulu. Expect ILS approach arrival runway 34 right. RNAV approach runway 34 left. Departure runway 34 right. 1010 at 13. Time OK. Temperature 42. 2.9er. Altimeter 1004. Hectopascals. Transition level 110. Advise ATC you have information. Bravo advise on initial contact. You have information Bravo.
Okay, we've got information Bravo. So with that out of the way, I have just done our takeoff calculation. We'll take the weight directly from the aircraft. We'll just import it because I'm lazy and such. But 61.3 is correct. Okay. Excellent. Well, then let's go ahead with our performance. So we've got full rating at 55 degrees. So we take full 26K, 55. That is not all that much of a reduction. It's only 13 degrees above the actual outside air temperature. Imagine that. Okay, flaps 5 takeoff, and the CG is 20.1. Okay, takeoff speeds 136, 136, 142. And that is all within 1 knot, so we can take the FMS speeds. Okay, so 141. Here we go, is set. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and grab our IFR clearance. Cairo, Salam Alaikum, Egypt Air 043, information Bravo, request clearance to Cairo.
Egypt Air 043, wa alaikum salam, you are clear to Cairo, as far as the first route level 300 approved, expect Solux 1 Bravo departure out of runway 34 right, squawk 2310.
Egypt Air 043, cleared to Cairo via flight plan route, flight level 300, Solux 1 Bravo departure, squawk 2310.
Egypt Air 043, read back is fully correct, advise heading.
Wilco, Egypt Air 043. Okay, Solux 1 Bravo, well that is what we have selected, even though it is showing it this way now, but that's because we had to slightly amend the route. That's what changed the FMS layout there. So, Solux 1 Bravo is via 311 to Solux, and 311 Solux is exactly what we have in here. Flat level 300 is entered, Flight plan route is entered, squawk 2310. 2310. Okay, and that's our clearance done. Alright, so are you ready for the departure briefing? So, threats for the departure. To be fair, I don't really have any. No. Certainly no VFR traffic here. The mountains shouldn't be much of an issue since we'll fly out to the water. Okay, well then let's go ahead with our route check. We're going from Hotel Echo Golf November to Hotel Echo Charlie Alpha. And our call sign is Mike Sierra Romeo 043. The routing... Well, in here we've got Hurghada VOR Victor 603 JIDIT, but over here we have Solox, and then from there on towards JIDIT. Thereafter, direct Capit in the Lima 677 Cairo VOR, that's what we have. Ground distance is 244 forecast and 253 actual, 3.4 remaining, reserves 2.6, that means we have roughly 15 minutes extra fuel. It's going to be a left seat takeoff on runway, well actually first of all instrument cross check, time UTC 1324, altimeter 1004, reading 70. Standby instruments set, flight directors are on and the master is on my side. So it's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 34 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 1. And we have an engine outset straight at 25 miles and that leads us, well, just about to the open water. MSA wise, they do say 7,500 in that sector, but honestly, this is over the water. We'll climb 3,000, that's going to be safe. And if we need to do an immediate turn back, we'll make a right-hand traffic pattern over the water and over all the hotels so that the tourists get a couple nice pictures of a burning aircraft, and then we come back for an ILS approach onto runway 34 right. We are under the max landing weight, so an immediate re-landing is not going to be a problem. And yeah, that's mostly that part. For the emergencies, we'll do everything as we briefed it on the first way out. And if the call before V1 is keep going, no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings, raise the landing gear with a positive rate. At 400 feet, verify heading select, carry out the memory items. At the MFRA, buck up, retract flaps on schedule, flaps up no light, select level change, max continuous thrust, engage the automatics, non-normal checklist, normal checklist, and then we do PIOSI, NITS, PA, decide on the further course of actions. Now for the taxi, it is going to be a pushback out of here. Let's actually go ahead and zoom that one in a little bit. Okay, so pushback out of here and then most likely via, I think that's November down there. Yeah, November onto Alpha, Alpha all the way down, and we take the full length 3-4 right. With these temperatures, let's just go for the full length. I don't want to limit myself where it's not necessary. For the departure, we have the Solox 1 Bravo departure, chart 10-3, effective 17th August. Transition altitude is 9,500, which matches with the FMC. And for the routing, track 340 in Mount Golf, November 311, above 3,000. And that's basically what we have here. And thereafter, track 353, 15 miles to Solox, above 8,000. And that's what we have in here as well. Okay, any questions? No questions, excellent. So now comes the hard task, after over a year of not flying the 737 anymore, remembering that checklist. Okay, so, before start checklist down to the line.
Thanks so much for the ATC, see ya. See ya. MS411 over, you didn't know for the ATC available.
So that is... Actually, I tell you what, let's do the full checklist. Services and shocks, check. Maintenance status, check. Battery, on. Elect hydraulic pumps, on. Landing gear lever, down. Ship's library, checked. RS mode selectors, nav, gear pins. We've got 1, 2, 3 removed. Light test, checked. Oxygen test 100%. Yaw damper, on. Nav transfer and display switches, normal and auto. Fuel. That's 5,179 required, 5,300 on board, 4 pumps on. Cabin utility IFE on, emergency exit lights armed, fast modes on, window heat on. Air conditioning and pressurization, PAX auto, bleeds on and set, pressurization mode selector, auto, instruments, cross check, auto brake, RTO, speed brake. Down detent, Parking brake set, step from cutout switches, normal, wheel well fire warning, checked, radius, radar and transponder, set and standby, rudder and aileron trims, 3 and 0, takeoff briefing, discussed, PA, to go. Okay, then let's say hello to the passengers, and in the meantime, what we can do is put that APU online, and then GSX can start preparing the position for pushback and departure already. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. From the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Egypt Air, you're welcome aboard our flight 43 to Cairo. Flight time today approximately 45 minutes at an altitude of 30,000 feet. We expect a smooth flight with some great views on the Red Sea, on the shoreline leading up to the Suez Canal, and finally into Cairo on the city as well. We would like to ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. And finally, the cabin crew is now going to do the safety demonstration. I would like to ask you for your full attention, as that is not just for your own safety, but also for the safety of the passengers sitting around you. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Ground from flight deck. Go ahead. So our parking brake is set, you can remove all the ground equipment, and please prepare the position for pushback and departure. Okay, thank you. Okay, so our setup here is done, 141 is in there, we'll get the altitude most likely only with the takeoff clearance. Okay, excellent. Complete the before start checklist, please. So, FMC CDU set, N1 IS bugs, automatic, reduced 26K speeds, 35, 36, 41 set, stub trim, well that's something I keep forgetting. Okay, 5.1 units set, performance weight and balance, sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode and stowed, flight windows and cockpit door, locked, doors closed, passengers seated. Before start checklist complete. Egypt Air 043, position 9, I request pushback and startup.
Egypt Air 043, push and start approved, facing south, QNH 1004.
Push and start approved, facing south, QNH 1004, Egypt Air 043. Okay, facing south, 1004 is in there.
Emirates 5 Alpha Bravo, no further HC available over Ulina.
Before start checklist below the line. Air compacts off, anti-collision light on, parking brake set, transponder alt off. Before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit. Go ahead. Pushback and startup approved, facing south, parking brake set. Roger, please release your parking brake.
Very good afternoon, Cairo radar contact.
Parking brake released. Roger, standing push, stand by for engines. Standing by. Okay, so those can go to the side. We'll keep the rest in place over here until the engines are running. Otherwise it's just getting too hot. I mean, just look at this. The temperature's already on the rise, even though the air conditioning is just off for a minute now. It might actually have been an idea just to keep that air conditioning running for a little bit longer. But, well, now it's too late. If we turn it on now for 5 seconds only to turn it back off again, then people would look strange at us as well. Okay, Captain, you're clear to start the engines. Roger, starting 2 and 1 in sequence. Engine 2 start. And 2. Oil pressure. And 1. What's that? Master caution, air conditioning. Cabin temperature. Yeah, zone temperature is okay. That'll become better as soon as we've got air conditioning again. We'll ignore that for now. What's it here? Yeah, 28. Don't worry about that. Okay, yeah, the duct temperature has risen quite a bit. That's where it comes from. Okay, nothing to worry about. So, pushback complete, set park and brake. Park and brake set, you're clear to lower the aircraft, remove all equipment, and advise when clear, we're starting engine number 1. Clear 1. Okay, isolated pack, that should help with the zone temperature as well. Engine 1 start. And 2. All pressure. And 1.
Number 926 no further ATC available switch Honeycomb 1 to 8 مع السلامة.
Oh, Honeycomb, Emirates 926. Thank you so much for the ATC. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Starter cutout, monitor 1, number 1 stable. Okay, ground, we've got 2 good starts, clear disconnect, show me the sign on the right, and have a wonderful day. Or on the left, yeah. Thank you very much.
China 737, I'm going out of cockpit 5 minutes. Approved.
So, that's master caution, air conditioning, zone temperature. We'll deal with that in a few moments. Okay, flight control track. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay. I have a feeling we'll just wait a little bit. Maybe it resets itself. We might just have to press the reset button as well, but I suggest we just start to taxi out and, well, what's the current temperature indication? Yeah, it is back under control. Tell you what, let's just turn that down a little bit. Okay, B4 taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, ProArt on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto, bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 required, 5 selected, and the green light, step trim 5.4 set. Is it? Yeah, it is. 5.4 set. So, start switches, idle detent, flight controls checked, recall. Yeah, we'll take that checked for now. We'll deal with that later on after the taxi to give things a little bit of time to cool down. Okay, B4 taxi checklist complete. Egypt Air 043, request taxi.
Egypt Air 043, taxi holding point 34 right via Sierra November Alpha.
Egypt Air 043, taxi holding point 34 right via Sierra November and Alpha. Okay, Sierra November Alpha is pretty much exactly what we briefed, so Sierra is the one we are on right now, so straight ahead, November, Alpha, and that leads us to the full length. Brake is released, config. And that is doors, yeah, the overwing exits. Tell you what. And that fixes it.
So they want to have to report position.
Okay, so next to the right, first to the left.
Audio 52 is 16 miles to Sierra Hotel Mike.
So they 152 negative flight plan 335.
Again?
Now comes the challenge of not oversteering the aircraft again. It's not a 777 anymore, my friends. Even though a little bit of oversteering, of course, needs to be done. Okay, clear right side, clear left side. Okay then, long straight line. Let's go. Alright, so we'll just take it straight ahead, 30 knots, and then we've got quite a bit of time available right now, so... Well, 30, no more please. Here we go, that's good. That's how it should be.
Control, American Texas Airport 429, the traffic shift requested check.
Airport 429 وعليكم السلام radio 5
Airport 429 is traffic shift.
Okay, so quick look up here. Temperature controller is certainly reacting. The temperature is coming down as well. Okay, I tell you what, let's go ahead and do the zone temp non-normal checklist, please.
You're clear to Moscow as far as Patron route 57350. Approve the expect vectors.
So, zone temp non-normal checklist. Condition, one or more V secure. A zone duct overheat or the flight deck temperature control is failed. Yep, I do agree, especially with the overheat. So, temperature selector affected cabin, select the cooler temperature. That's what we've done already. This prevents the trim air modulating valve from returning to an overheat condition. Trip reset switch push. The zone temp light extinguishes if the duct temperature has cooled below limits. Okay, so trip reset switch. Push. Yeah, it extinguishes. Okay. Monitor duct temperature. If the duct temperature increases rapidly, set the trim air switch to off. So that's the aft duct temperature, and that is certainly not increasing rapidly there. Okay, choose one. Affected temperature is excessively high, or affected cabin temperature is normal. It's normal. Okay, zone temp non-normal checklist complete. Right, I will just try to turn this one up a little bit again, because well, at 22 degrees, all the passengers in here would be prepared for the 42 degrees we've got outside, so I'd rather be careful there. So let's just turn it up a little bit so that none of our passengers gets a cold. Okay, well then, so that much about this problem. This stuff can happen in hot temperature operations. I mean, 42 degrees outside is rather excessive. Okay, well then let's go ahead and do the before takeoff checklist to the line. Config, checked, flaps, 5, green light, stop trim, 5.2, set, takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff, 34 right, flaps 5, noise abatement 1, and takeoff speeds 135, 136, 141. Sit straight out, slight right turn, we'll see about the initial cleared altitude, we still have to obtain that from ATC.
Good afternoon.
Okay, apart from that, any emergencies, straight ahead 25 miles, that's prepared at the end of the lags page already, and if we really need to do an immediate return, we can just fly a right-hand traffic pattern over the ocean, coming back for the ILS approach. Any questions? Nope, excellent. Cabin? Secured, before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. Egypt Air 043, ready for departure.
Egypt Air 043 at departure, initial climb at level 110, surface wind 01013 knots, stay for right, cleared for takeoff.
Egypt Air 043, initial climb, flight level 110, runway 3 for right, cleared for takeoff. Okay, 110, that is checked. So then, 3 for right, cleared for takeoff. Cabin crew, prepare for departure.
Friday 152, radar contact. Flight level 234, maintain flight level 240.
Man, it really needs quite a bit of thrust to get moving here. That click spot was GSX. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP, set, transponder, TAR rate, strobe light on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. Are you ready to go? Takeoff. Very hard to find the center line on this one. So much dirt here. Then again, that would not surprise me at all for the real world.
Cairo 387, contact Athena, radar 129er675.
Okay, so takeoff thrust. Nice sounds here from FTSim, aren't they? Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Checked.
Swiss 298, contact Athena, radar 129er675. مع السلامة.
129er675, Swiss 298, thanks for your service, good stuff.
Goodbye. Emirates 928 over Medina for the
You're up.
available to uniform mode. Malay مع السلامة.
122 decimal 8, Emirates 928, thank you for the ADC, have a great day, bye-bye.
LNAV.
Bye-bye. Osprey 490, proceed direct to Lena.
Okay, let's do a little bit of manual flight here, just because it's a lot of fun to do.
Osprey 8490, correct, Lena. Affirm.
I really love that livery. So, Hurghada down here for you.
Agent 3 Uniform Hotel Cairo.
Well, we aren't going to get any weather returns, so let's just switch over to terrain. Okay, back up.
Level, sorry, we're here. Agent 3 Uniform Hotel,
Flaps
no
one.
worries, expect.
Speed checked.
Number 1 Alpha arrival, island, E4 right at Hurghada.
Flaps up. Speed check. Flaps up.
Expected number 1 Alpha arrival, island, E4 right. Jupiter 043, radar contact 4,200 feet. Continue climb level 300.
Egypt Air 043, climb flight level 300. Set. 300 confirmed. Okay, flaps up no light. VNAV.
Agent 3 Uniform Hotel when ready, descent level 240. Ready descent follow.
We'll wait with the after takeoff checklist until I have turned on the autopilot in a moment.
I'm back, 77.
77, welcome back.
Okay. Command A. After takeoff checklist. So we've got air condition and pressurization 2.7, climbing. What's the cabin temperature at now? 25 degrees. The duct looking good as well. Yeah, that's fine with me. And the forward is like 27. Yeah, good enough. Okay, set. So we are clear to the flight level. Set standard. Standard cross check passing flight level 75 now. Checked. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay, let's release our cabin crew for the service.
Osprey 490 over UAN and over another 87 available station from 1 to 8 miles per hour. Osprey 490 heavy.
Man, beautiful rate of climb here, 3,000 feet a minute.
Switch
I do like it.
1 to 2.8 over UAN miles per hour.
Have to say this looks pretty cool as well, doesn't it? I do really like that.
Airport 429 ready for push and start. Airport 429 and push and start.
Altimeters, passing 10.3, climbing 300, 10 checks. Fuel, balanced, 4 pumps on, lights, off, APU off, air condition and pressurization, 4.1, climbing, set, fast belts. Yeah, it's going to stay smooth, let's release them. Order, recall, checked, 1 to 1.5. Monitoring, 10 checks complete.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Okay. So we're in the air, we're on the way to Cairo. And we can just enjoy the beautiful view at the Egyptian landscape over here. Have to say, I'm personally really fascinated by it anytime I fly over Egypt. It's so completely different. Even though it's strange sometimes when I as a European say like, yeah, fascinating landscape, but every time I do get home, I'm always like, well, but at home it's kinda nicer, isn't it? And when you actually fly with locals who are from the Arabian countries, then they are going to say the same thing about getting back into this landscape over here. Like you fly with a colleague who's from the area, and they say like, oh wow, beautiful colors, finally getting back home. And I'm like, okay. I find it fascinating, but you know, as a European, I'm like, well, we've got turquoise water, green fields, green forests, maybe a lake. You know, that's like beautiful colors for me. And yeah, everyone really likes most what they grew up with, don't they? And this certainly has some fascination to it as well. It definitely does. Okay, starting the left-hand turn over at Solox. So we're clear to our cruising altitude already. That's flight level 300. Set once, twice, and checked 3 times. And just looking into here, optimum is far above it. That's fine. So 50 miles to the top of climb, 111 till the top of descent. That's very good as well, so we don't have to worry about that stuff. Well, well. So easy going overall. That's how I like it. That's how I really like it. Still enjoying that fascinating landscape. Kinda cute to look at the 737 again, now that I got so incredibly used to the 777. It's really like, this is such a small aircraft. And back in the day when I was really flying it, you know, I was always like, man, that's a huge aircraft we're flying over here. Especially back in the day after we did the 737-600 beta, and I exclusively flew the 600 for like a month or so, and thereafter even looking at the 700, it looked like a huge airplane. And then when the 800 came around, I was like, man, is that a long aircraft? And right now I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, that's cute. It's still a fascinating aircraft though. Beautiful shape, beautiful flight deck. It's certainly got its place in my heart. Even though it's not an Airbus, it definitely has its place in my heart, and I'm sure I'm going to love this aircraft for the rest of my life. And with that, of course, I mean both the PMDG version of it, as well as, obviously, the real one. I think, well, passing 20,000, let's quickly do our reverse L check over here. Looking good. Everything good. Temperatures are okay as well. Perfect. I think the first aircraft that a pilot flew is really always going to have a special place in his heart, no matter what it is. Even if it's a CRJ. Though I have to say, I saw some people who actually rejected command upgrade, so they rejected becoming captain and preferred to keep flying the A340 over getting to fly the CRJ as a captain. Kinda interesting, isn't it? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't know what decision I would make when I have the choice between continuing to fly the A330 or transitioning as a captain to a CRJ. Well, I would probably take the transition, because any upgrade that you are offered, you should take it. You never know when the next chance is going to come that someone is going to offer you the upgrade to become a captain. So I think anyone should take it, regardless of what you're going to fly then. But yeah, some people just prefer those large aircraft. I recently flew with a colleague who got loads of experience on the A330 as a senior first officer, but who would have to transition to the A320 when he becomes a captain, and he just doesn't want to do it. He wants to stay on the A330. Which I can kind of understand, because ultimately the aircraft you fly is not as important to a pilot in the real world as it is to flight simmers usually. Flight simmers usually really put too much focus on the type in question. Like, for me personally, yeah, the A330 is the nicer airplane to handle, but if I would be offered a 737 that would put me right at the place where all my friends are and give me career opportunities to stay there where my friends and family are, then I would absolutely take that over the A330. It's mostly a lifestyle decision for pilots. Like, do you want to have the long-haul lifestyle? Do you want to have the short-haul lifestyle? Each of them got its particular advantages. Like, flying short-haul, you might be home every evening and see your kids grow up, see your partner, and be with your family. While, on the other hand side, flying long-haul might put you in a position where you are going to be away from your family for long times. So everyone's got to know what their personal preferences are there. For now, my personal preference is the long-haul lifestyle, because I want to see what the world looks like. I want to make all of those experiences, having those great layovers. Like last winter, I flew to the Caribbean. Well, I think I had a total of 30 days locally in layover in the Caribbean. So that's really, really beautiful. Other people are paying so much money to spend those 7 or 14 days on holidays, and then I'm just spending 30 days in total there, spread over, you know, a couple days every month. That's just really beautiful, isn't it? And that is, of course, something that, well, you only get that in long haul. However, it comes at a cost. I need to move away from my friends, need to move away from the family. Either that, or take into account that you have long ways to travel. Like when you do 4, maybe 5 long hauls a month, you gotta know if you want to drive those 3 hours. Because it is going to be very, very hard to do that, especially after you fly back from the Caribbean. Well, you just spend 2 or 3 days at the beach relaxing, but then you fly a complete night flight with 2 pilots, and all of a sudden you come back and, well, you will be done for. That relaxing effect is, of course, not going to last that long. It's a lifestyle decision, and everyone will have their own preferences. But you gotta take the upgrade when it's offered to you. Okay, so already 60 miles from the top of descent. Might just about have a quick look into our destination at least. Arrival, Cairo. Well, there are no stars in Cairo. It is going to be radar vectors. Let's go ahead and look for the ATIS 122.6.
Available in my aircraft. No worries, expect radar vector
at runway 23 right and runway 23 left.
Can I continue solo?
Left 30 degrees at 10 knots. Tag okay.
Thank you.
Temperature 36.
Vertical speed.
2.15. QNH1006 hectopentile. Transition level 60. Advise Cairo on initial contact. You'll have information call.
So we set 2-3 on the ATIS. We'll plan 2-3 left then.
National Airport ATIS. Information call.
3-6.
Time 1330 Zulu. Expect ILS approach.
1006.
Runway 23 center. runway 23 right and runway 23 left in use. West 300 degrees at 10 knots. Cam OK. Temperature 36. 2.15. QNH 1006 hectopascals. Transition level 60. Advise Cairo on initial contact. You'll have information call.
Okay, so that's the ATIS here, and we're just about capturing our cruising altitudes. So, angle of bank 10, VNAV. That was checked already, so let's do a quick fuel check over here. Top of climb, 13 minutes, it took us 15. Well, it's known that VNAV that SimBrief doesn't take the temperatures into account, that's why it took longer. Should have 3.7 and used 1.5, we've got 3.6 and used 1.6. Yeah, that all makes sense. I'm happy with that. Okay, so they have several runway 23s in use. It could literally be any of those.
Isn't the uniform hotel continuity descent?
I'd say it's probably going to be 23 center.
1003.
I'll bet on 23 center, and then we'll have to see on what we're actually going to get. Transition from Cairo VOR, but let's go ahead and plan for a little shortcut here. But I'm pretty sure we are not going to fly the standard approach there. So what we'll do is Cairo /-15 and link that up with the final approach fix.
Airport Fortuna heading 010.
And here we go. So now the shortcut is planned. Okay, speed below 100 is going to be 250. Forecast, we can simply uplink that. QNH 1006. Well, Concert. They did want us to do that back in the day. And we're already approaching the top of descent. That's a pretty short cruise, but so be it. I can live with that. Okay, execute. Then we've got runway 23 center. Well, we'll take a 90-mile ring for our top of descent, a 10-mile ring, and since we've got cavalcade conditions, a 4-mile ring for the configuration. Okay, and I think that's mostly it for now. So, 1095, 224. Here we go, 224. And on the other side as well. 224. Okay, 109.5. And 109.5. Minimums, category Charlie, 625. Oh boy, I really hope PMDG is going to port the new logic of the ethos control panel from the 777 over.
Station 3 uniform hotel left heading 070.
So, 625. Okay. Here we go. And that stuff's automatically set on the other side. Excellent. Otherwise, you could always copy it over, like control panel, both on one, back to normal, and then you've copied your stuff over to the other side. Oh, little 737 trick there. Okay. 6 miles to the top of descent. Let's go ahead and request descent. Egypt Air 043, request descent.
Egypt Air 043, descent by level 240.
Descent flight level 240, Egypt Air 043. Set. Alternate event. Let's get it go down. Okay. Just gotta have a quick look at the airport chart and the parking chart. So we're landing 23 center, got a vacate, Tango 2 I guess. That's almost 4 kilometers. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Auto brake, we don't need that. Auto brake off. Okay. I think that's mostly it. I'll quickly do a PA and then we can start with the approach briefing. Ladies and gentlemen from Flatec, this is your captain speaking. We have left our cruising altitude and started our descent towards Cairo. Remaining flight time approximately 25 minutes and the weather over there currently clear skies and the temperature of 36 degrees. We'd like to thank you for choosing Egypt Air today. Hope that you have enjoyed your stay on board and we wish you a very nice stay in Cairo or if applicable a nice and safe continuous journey. Thank you very much for your attention and we hope to see you again on a future flight. Okay, so that's our PA done, then let's go ahead with the briefing. So threats for the arrival. Well, the runway condition isn't all that good in Cairo, so might be a little bit bumpy down here. We gotta make sure that we don't land it straight into a pothole. So we'll have a little look at the runway there. Apart from that, taxi is a bit of a thing since I'm not too familiar with the airport. So we'll have to see, it'll be Tango 2, then most likely Tango Sierra 1 Sierra, or maybe Tango Sierra, and then somewhere to the terminals. I really have no idea. I also have no idea where they're going to park us. I checked Flight Radar before the flight and they used to be all over the place, pretty much anywhere, so I'm really not too sure. I think that's the biggest threat there. Vacating the runway and then ensuring which taxiway we gotta go onto and how we're going to taxi. Okay, so with that out of the way,
H043, contact Cairo direction 119.050 Cairo. You ready? Bye-bye.
119.050, Egypt Air 043. Salam alaikum. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we had information Golf there. Cairo Director, Egypt Air 043, flight level 260, descending 240, overhead carpet, information Golf.
043, Cairo Director, hello, again, information Golf is correct. Expect radar vectors, ILS approach runway 23 center, descend flight level 180.
Expect radar vectors ILS 23 center, descend flight level 180, Egypt Air 043. Set, 180 checked. Okay, beautiful. Well then let's go ahead and continue with our briefing, please. So 250 below 100, the forecast is in, fixed rings, runway 23 center, 10 miles, 4 miles. The approach itself is going to be a radar vectored approach. Down for the ILS 23 center, starting out at the Fox India, 5.1 nautical miles only, so a rather short final over there, at an altitude of 2,000 feet. And we've got that in here, Fox India, altitude 2,000 feet. Now, it is a 3-degree glide slope, as we see down there, and in case of missed approach, climb straight out to 2,500, then as directed. Okay, and in here we've got basically radar vectored, and we gotta remember 2,500, so I think we can't enter it in here, can we? No, we can't. Okay. Well, that's fine. Alright. So, that's that part. What else is there? Landing fuel 3000, and for diversion we need 2.6, though, so that's just only about 10 minutes extra we have there. Should be more than fine though. Well, burning 400, and that's checked, makes 59 tons landing weight. Let's see what we have calculated in here. Performance tool, landing and route, yeah, that's 59 tons, good enough. Let's calculate auto brake 1 in here, and here we go. Okay, so flaps 30, auto brake 1. And instead what I will do is auto brake off.
10 degrees to the right.
There's more than enough space on this runway, so we don't need to worry about that.
To the right.
Okay. And I
Can you
think
confirm,
that's it.
Cairo fuel?
Well, we're going to vacate the runway to the right.
QNH 1006.
We talked about the taxi already, so I don't think we need to repeat that stuff. Any questions? No? Excellent. Descent checklist, please. So, anti-eye, pressurization, land out 450, anti-eyes, off, approach briefing fuel, discussed, IS and outbucks, checked and set. Descent checklist complete. I'm not used to doing these short flights anymore, especially not in an aircraft as complex as the 737. The Airbus is really rather simple to handle. And most especially not under conditions like
Sorry, 152, turn left heading 300.
with an SOP that requires as much talking as the one of my former operator does.
043, continue descend to level 140.
Egypt Air 043, descent flight level 140. Set, 140 checked. Beautiful terrain out here, isn't it? Talked about it earlier, huh? It's just so different from what I'm normally used to.
And then left heading 2 Patron.
Even in my new operation now, on the long haul, I think there is only one scheduled flight where we actually fly over Egypt or over any of Africa
Sorry, 152, confirm.
in daylight conditions. The rest of it is all night flights, unfortunately. Well, good for the passengers, of course, but at least for us crew members who want to see something of the area we travel over, well, you get it. I have to say I'm slowly coming back into the SOP though. I did my first flight off screen with a 737 since many months of 777 work now. I did the first 737 flight off screen that was from Cairo to Hurghada, and really had a couple of moments where I was like, whoa, I flew that aircraft? But now after, well, on the second flight I'm already starting to come back into it. That's good. That's really good. Okay, they do have ground controller online, 1 to 1.9. We can already pre-select that, as we might need it later on. So here we go, that's pre-selected. Starting to enter some turbulence here. Egypt Air 043, descent flight level 90.
Egypt Air 649, counter carrier control 127 decimal
90 checked. If you're wondering why the numbers are moving so quickly at the moment, I think I broke something in my mouse and the wheel just keeps spinning without any resistance now. That's why I can change settings so incredibly quickly. Now it's actually nice to be able to change them that quickly, but I don't think it's the inventor's idea. And yeah, sometimes it leads to doing involuntary inputs when the wheel is spinning without me even noticing. Well, that stuff happens. Something else that really strikes me on 737 operations nowadays is those incredibly slow speeds. Like, look at the target speed here, 264 knots. And that is with a cost index of 22, which is comparably high already. Like, most airlines are flying lower cost indexes these days, and well, just remembering my old operations with cost index 6, it would fly 245 knots, and I know some airlines, some Turkish leisure carriers, actually fly cost index 2, which is even slower than what we used to do, so, well. The 737 really is a very slow-flying aircraft, at least in those terms. Well, actually, comparing it with the A320, it is a very slow-flying aircraft. And now, in my new operation on the A330, even costing X0 gives you 270 knots descent speed as a minimum. So that's really quite a bit more comfy, let's call it like that. And then usually ATC wants you fast in a heavy, so most of the time we go, you know, 300, 320 knots, something around there. I'm so not used to flying these slow airspeeds anymore. But yeah, of course, the sooner you leave your flight level, the less drag you have, the more fuel efficient it is, because the engines spend more time in idle thrust. So it does absolutely make sense. It certainly does absolutely make sense. At least for the 737. Of course, Airbus has evaluated what's best on the 330 as well, and came to a different conclusion. But either way around, it's really nice. It's just a throwback into the good old days. Anyone remember the name 737NG driver? It's only been a year or so. Well, even less since I changed the name of the channel. I think that was over Christmas, wasn't it? Well, things are going quickly. Things are going very quickly indeed.
So there 152 surface wind 300 degrees 10 knots runway 23 center clear to land.
Okay, so we're going to receive radar vectors on the arrival. That means it is a good idea to have a look into the radar minimum altitudes. Coming in from down here. Highest mountain 2051.
043, fly present heading, descend flight level 60.
Egypt Air 043, fly present heading, descend flight level 60. Okay, heading select. And I'll tell you what, let's just keep it on VNAV path for now. Well, it actually wants to slow down already. Yeah. Right, we're at 100. I got so used to how the 777 flies, I was like, why is the speed bug going down slowly? Is that the energy compensation feature? No, of course, it's standard that the 737 does this. The 777 doesn't. Probably it doesn't help that I flew the PMDG for years before and throughout my real 737 career. So I was kind of used to the PMDG aircraft behavior for a long time there. Okay, so passing level 99, descending level 60, 10 checks. Fuel, balanced. 4 pumps on, lights on, angle of bank, 25, air condition and pressurization. 4.1, descending, set. Fasten belts, on. Recall, checked, 1 to 1.5. Deselected, 10 checks complete. Almost. Coming through, 10 minutes to landing. 10 checks complete. Okay, seeing that we're flying radar vectors, extend the center line, please.
Australia 152 will miss approach.
Sorry, 152 climb 3,500 feet runway heading.
Okay, so, looking at the minimum vectoring altitudes within 40 miles of the airport, that's basically, well, we are 25 miles in already, so somewhere over here, 3,800 is the minimum altitude they can clear us to at the moment. So the Saudia in front of us just went around, but keep a good listen there to see if they are eventually going to ask for a reason why he performed the go-around, because that might obviously be interesting for us as well.
Egypt Air 043, turn right heading 350.
Turn right heading 350, Egypt Air 043. Okay, heading 350. Vectoring us just outside the 10-mile ring, it seems. That's pretty much what ATC does in many countries. Approaching. So, Tell me where the Nile is. Probably where it's green. $1,000 to go. Vertical speed. Now it would be really nice if we had the TCAS below mode, but, well, it's a 737. Don't have that stuff in here. It's definitely not as advanced as the 777 is. You really notice that after a long time on the triple.
Saudi 152, turn left heading 110.
Left heading 110 to the
So, I'll acquire.
Egypt Air 043, descend to 4000 feet, QNH 1006.
Egypt Air 043, descend 4000, QNH 1006. Vertical speed. 4000 checked, set QNH. QNH 1006 cross check, passing 5600. Now, check. Okay, frisk check. Frequencies 109.5 3 times, rings 23 center, 10 miles, 4 miles, islands. India Tango Tango Charlie. And that is confirmed. 1000 to go. Standby instruments. Set courses 224 3 times. Approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments. Set cross-checked. Approach rates. Checked and set.
Left heading 060.
Approach checklist complete.
060, sorry, 152, left heading.
Okay, 10 miles from the center line.
043, turn left heading 320.
Turn left heading 320, Egypt Air 043. So, heading 320. 10 miles from center line. I'm pretty much convinced we can start our speed reduction right here, right now. Even though it is a bit of a headwind, well, doesn't matter. ICAO standard is about 180 anyway now, so we'll just reduce the speed right now.
Qatar 310, alaikum assalam, Cairo director, after departure in national.
So, the outskirts of Cairo, I believe.
Left heading 120.
City itself should be somewhere over there.
140, wind,
Rather hard to make out at the moment. I kinda hope for landing on 05 because that would have taken us over the city, but, well, gotta live with what we have, huh?
Qatar 310 and clear for
Flaps
takeoff,
1.
3
Speed checked.
Shukran, 310.
Egypt Air 043, descend and maintain 2,100 feet.
Egypt Air 043, descend and maintain 2,100 feet. Set, 2,100 checked, level change. Flaps 1. So, we are on the glide slope right now. That is perfect. Let's not get too slow yet. I think the current drag configuration using flaps 1 is pretty good. We are more or less stable on the glide slope, so we'll just maintain that. So let's just work ahead a little bit. And manual flight. Recycle flight directors. Let's have a little bit of fun, shall we?
Egypt 043, turn left heading 250 degrees, clear ILS approach on 123 center.
Egypt Air 043, turn left heading 250, cleared ILS, 0 correction, 23 center.
Confirm heading 250.
Heading 250, Egypt Air 043.
Thank you.
Okay, I have no idea why it went into toga mode right now, but we definitely don't want to do that. I think I accidentally clicked the click spot over here. Didn't mean to. Flaps 5. We'll fly it down to 2100, then we start the deceleration here. Localizer is alive. Runway heading 224 set.
Qatar 310, radar contact left at level 110.
Speed coming
Level
back.
110, Qatari 310.
Overshot the turn slightly.
Saudi 152, descend 4,000 feet in H1006.
1006, Greenwich, and descend to 4,000 feet, Saudi 152.
And Saudi 152, turn left heading 020.
Okay, I tell you what. Flat rectify. All the 3-cycle stuff brings me too many modes. I don't want them. I just want to do pure, good old hand flying here. Egypt Air 043 established.
Egypt Air 043, thank you so much. Contact Cairo Tower 118.1, Mass Salam.
118.1, Egypt Air 043, Ma Salama. So, that's 18.1. Cairo Tower, Salam Alaikum, Egypt Air 043, ILS 23 center. Fly slope capture, set go around altitude set. Cairo Tower, Salam Alaikum, Egypt Air 043, ILS 23 center. Gear down, flaps 15. Yeah, no, it took out the approach speed because of that accidental toga activation. Here we go, that's better. Okay, flaps 30. Landing checklist, start switches, continuous, recall, checked, speed brake, armed green light, landing gear, down 3 green, auto brake, off, flaps 30, 30 green light, landing lights, 1000, to go. Cairo Tower, Egypt Air 043, radio check. Director, Egypt Air 043, negative contact on 118.1.
Egypt Air 043, apparently he has issues, surface wind at 300 degrees, 10 knots, runway 23 center, clear to land.
Runway 23 center, clear to land, Egypt Air 043. Okay, well that also does it. Landing lights on, landing checklist complete. Okay, glide slope, checked correctly.
Saudi 152, turn left heading 310.
Flip 310,
Continue.
Saudi 152.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, speed brake up, thruster is normal. Idle reverse. This is what I meant with all the potholes on the runway. I do really like how they simulated that. In the real world, I'd probably be cursing about that runway. Ah, beautiful 777s over here. Okay, 100 knots, manual brakes. 80 knots. 60 knots. Egypt Air 043 vacating.
Egypt Air 043, thank you so much. Alhamdulillah, salama. Contact ground 121.9er.
121.9, Egypt Air 043, Masalama.
Ma salam.
Cairo ground, Egypt Air 043, vacating to 3 center.
Egypt 043 standby. Egypt 212, sorry for that. Continue via Tango, hold short runway.
Okay, that standby is a problem, of course, because as you can see, there is no hold short line here. The hold short line, well, will probably be there.
Egypt 043, Cairo Grand, أهلا بكم في القاهرة. Welcome to Cairo. Continue right on Tango, Sierra 1, Sierra, Yankee, stand the Echo 9er.
Right, Tango 1, Sierra, and... sorry, you'll have to say the rest again. Egypt Air 043.
Sorry for that, no problem. Egypt 043, taxi right Tango, then left Sierra 1, then Sierra, Yankee, stand Echo 9er.
Egypt Air 043, right on Tango, Sierra 1, and thereafter we go via Sierra and Yankee, stand Echo 9er. Okay, so that's right over here. First left is Sierra 1. Here we go.
Egypt 173, taxi via
So Sierra 1,
hold short
Sierra.
Yankee.
Thereafter Echo. Where is... Echo is here. Where is it, Echo?
Cairo grounded GN 935, ready for takeoff.
Yankee onto Echo 9er. Okay, and Yankee is... okay, so Sierra 1, Sierra, Yankee, Echo 9er. This is where we're going.
Okay, Adrian 9.
Okay, excellent.
Roger.
Then, to the left over here.
Via Patron, then Charlie.
Okay, and parking over there,
Delta,
basically.
Sierra, Sierra 1, Tango,
GSX,
hold short runway
Echo,
3 center.
9er.
Hold short
Follow me, no thanks, we know where we are going
Charlie,
now.
Delta, Sierra,
That's a 777 coming out of there.
GN 935.
We'll see who is going to be
Perfect.
first.
Emirates 2, Romeo Yankee, contact tower 118.
Okay, and in the meantime, we can do a little bit of housekeeping.
Ground, today, 0.055, Echo 211, request to 1000.
So flight director is off already.
Sun Express 525, stand by, your route is not correct, stand by for reroute.
Okay, so next to the left.
Air Cairo 507.
Okay, the 777 is holding over there, then let's hurry up and make sure that we don't block him for too long. Okay, so next left and then Echo 9er is that one.
Egypt 173, hold position.
Yeah, that is rather close to our taxiway. We'll have to see if we can make that.
Egypt 212, contact tower 118.1, thank you.
Yeah, I think we can cut that in. In the real world, I would be asking for a marshaller now to confirm the wingtip clearance, but I think it is just about fine. It's not as big as they say, huh? Yeah, look at that. Plenty of space there. But it was definitely a good thing he didn't taxi much further forward. Okay, the marshaller is inside. In some interesting clothing here for 36 degrees. Okay, shutting down 2. And here we are. Okay, parking brake is set. APU on. 2 blue, 1 red, engines dead. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, and since that's the last flight of the day, let's go ahead and shut it down. Well, I'll tell you what, we are going to keep the packs on for some air conditioning here. Okay, so both engines below 20%, beacon can come off. Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps, 1 on, electrical, on APU, fasten belts off, ProArt auto, anti-ice off, air conditioning, packs auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed on, exterior lights set, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up no light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CV in, cockpit door unlocked, shutdown checklist complete. Alright then, let's go ahead and grab ourselves some ground equipment, and while they arrive, Egypt Air 043 on the blocks, thank you so much for the wonderful service, and see you all again soon.
Thank you so much, bye bye.
Okay, so jetway should be on the way, I hope, and we do have a ground power unit. Let's go ahead and connect that. And I do figure that in Cairo they probably have air conditioning units, so I tell you what, let's go ahead and put that one in place as well. Okay, and that's it, my friends. So let's go ahead and make sure that it doesn't heat up too much in here. So we need this, and put this one in place. Same on the other end side, over here, over here. So nice to see all that traffic over here. That's really, really great. It's lovely to see an airport like this that previously used to have so little traffic come to life. And I think that Cairo scenery from Thai models over here really is part of the reason for that. It's a beautiful scenery for what I find to be a beautiful and most certainly very uncommon airport in the real world. It's got a very special structure to it, Cairo, and honestly, all I can say is I really do like this airport. Of course, might be a little bit of a factor that I flew here quite often as a child for holidays, but nonetheless, I really do like it. And I do really like the scenery from Thai models as well, especially that uneven surface on the runway. It just really gives you that, you know, I want to call it African feeling. I do hope I'm not hurting any Egyptians' hearts by calling it African, but you guys know what I mean. Alright, so thank you so much for flying along. I do hope that you all have enjoyed this one. I hope that you enjoyed seeing the 737 again as well. And with all of that out of the way, all I can say is thank you very much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed this one, and do let me know in the comments below if you want me to fly the 737 again for a little bit more. And most importantly, do let me know what you think of our route of flight. I really appreciated this little bit, let's call it unconventional one for this channel, but I absolutely do appreciate it. And I think with such a great hub as Cairo available now, it's certainly only worth it doing a couple of flights like these. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Also, once again, thank you to Mohammed for providing that excellent en route ATC, and with all of that out of the way, thank you very much for watching. See you all again on the next one. In the meantime, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link on the video description below. Thanks for watching, and see you all again on the next one.